with these power outages, what is the active thing that you all are doing right now?
Right now, PG&E is embedded in our Emergency Operations Center, as well as CalISO, who oversees the grid to make sure that it is functioning properly outside the outage areas. And we have brought together telecommunications providers with water and wastewater providers, gas pipeline providers. That way, we are all in the Unified Command Center, which is our UOC, Utility Operations Center, is a subsection here of the State Operations Center, so that each of the interdependencies, when the power is turned off for safety, are addressed operational and functional. Right now, we are bringing in a major amount of mutual assistance crews to support restoration of power when it's safe to do so. We're bringing in a lot of telecommunications support gear in cows, which are cell on wheels, or Colt cell on light trucks, and we're bringing in a large quadrant of standby truck generators to be deployed if this goes extended beyond the capability of a cell site to run on battery and or generator. When those capacities expire, we want enough backup generation that it does not impact the population. We understand that communications in an outage of disaster of any kind is critical, all the way from the family trying to reach their children to people trying to dial 911 for assistance. So it has a very high priority with us to see that communications are available and capable of performing the task that they're charged with.
When the power goes out, do cell towers go out as well?
Not generally. Generally, cell towers, by all providers, have a battery capability for a length of time depending on the draw, but generally 8 hours plus. Most major cell components, the hubs overseeing the remote cell towers, have standby generation. The challenge then becomes not the batteries or the generation, but the capability to get fuel to them to keep them up and operational.
So maybe 24 hours to 48 hours.
We're looking right now at our major hubs with Verizon's and AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, all running for 5 to 7 days.
Oh.
That's why we're bringing in convoys of standby generation. If they start to exceed that time, we need to be prepared and capable of backing them up to extend that time. We're not anticipating it to run that long, but in our line of work, in our business, we need to be prepared for the contingency that if it does run that long, we need to have communications up and operating.
And definitely with the number of customers that we're talking about, specifically with PG&E, the 500 to 800,000.
Presently, yes. We're also, though, looking at SCE, because this front is going to move south. And then by Thursday, we're looking at SDG&E in San Diego. So this is going to be a progressive event that will be moving from basically the Oregon border to the Mexican border. And we need to be prepared to be flexible enough to address that event as it progresses down the state.
And will your crews move from north to south as this moves?
Our crews, and if we use AT&T or Verizon as an example, cover the entire state. So we have the capacity to follow the event with sufficient capabilities to maintain what we need to maintain for the entire state. The population, its safety, and our ability to augment that is key and critical on one of our priorities.
Is there any single point of concern with this upcoming storm? I mean, is it cell towers? Is it
anything that's in the path of the outages is a concern. Water and wastewater is always a concern. Potable water for health and safety, water for fire suppression. We need to make sure that capability is there. We need to make sure wastewater is being addressed and moved so that we don't create a biohazard in an issue where you can't move or process wastewater. Our issue, we have the California Energy Commission embedded with us right now, is to make sure there's sufficient fuel to keep all of these systems up and running in this kind of a challenging event where we've lost power. And we've done this for years. We've been embedded with OES since 1952. So we have a little experience actually stepping up and addressing those universal needs on the utility critical infrastructure side. And we're in the process now of evaluating the new normal, PSPS, which is a preemptive and preventative. So it's a time issue, but it's not damaging any of our facilities that we can't address and support. In massive fires or earthquakes, we have physical damage, which takes a lot longer to restore. Here we have no physical damage, so we're able to address and mitigate it faster.
And you have some time to prepare for it as well, which helps.
Absolutely.
I would hope.
And we're going to be building out with state OES how the new PSPS needs to be addressed going forward. This is our first major event of this type, and it's as much a learning curve as it is a response mechanism.
How many people do you have on standby, do you know, in terms of?
To staff our utility operations center, I have 76.
Wow.
So we can go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for as long as need be.
And in terms of the folks that are coming in with the mobile cell towers, the folks that are ready to help out with water, where are they and where?
Actually, they're spread out across the entire state, and we're working with the California Air Resources Board right now to bring in the non-compliant units from other states. We've got them predisposed in Nevada area waiting to come across the border when they're legally approved to come into the state to support it. One thing about this event is we have some time. We know that it's coming. Things are not burned. Things are not destroyed. They haven't been flooded or caught in a mudslide. So we know their capacity running will be battery generator and then back up. We can plan for it. Roads are open. So nothing is impeding our progress to get there to support the population.
And how many folks do we have waiting at the border? Quite a few?
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. AT&T alone has 135 generators on trucks waiting to come over the border from Nevada to here. We would rather be in an overkill and park it at a cell site or a substation or a legacy switch and not need it than have it go out for a couple hours and not have the capability there to support it.
This level of planning and preparedness is something that, I mean, in my experience, that is great. I mean, it's amazing what is done and what is done in such a little time. But to see...
But the state leans forward. We have catastrophic earthquake plans, which we are part of for Cascadia and San Francisco, and we're rewriting one for Southern California. One of the great parts is we can apply those written processes that we've already vetted and developed to any all hazards. And fortunately, we're not breaking anything. So we have a tremendous inconvenience, and we understand that. And as soon as the event clears, we have hundreds of crews standing by to do inspections for PG&E and to assist them in re-energizing the grid safely.
And in ways, this may be really training for a major event that could happen, such as an earthquake or wildfire.
We are very fortunate in California that we've prepared for this. I've been here 13 years, and so we've been through mudslides, and we've been through floods, we've been through fires. What we're doing is refining our process for an incident that's not breaking anything, but still causing a significant impact to the homeowner, the populations, the school districts. So we have some time now to prepare for it, and we have a much greater capacity to restore it.